Hi guys, welcome back. We're going to get on that bushing for the brake pedal on the 80. I think it would be 79 or 80, 400, 250, 125, maybe even the 100s. I don't know, but at least the 125 through 400 are looking to be the same. The 400 frame and the 250 frame are the same as far as part numbers go, so they must be. And the 125, I just happen to have one here in the shop, and it measures the same. So maybe they figured out it's good to use a lot of the same parts on all these bikes. Hopefully, that's it. The C2 is just a nightmare of this and that. So let me get you over here. We'll explain what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, how the assembly goes together, and take a peek of it assembled to the 125 frame. All right, let's see here now. We've got our bolt. This particular one is it would be a 50 millimeter long, and it's got a 17 millimeter head. I think that's what the original one had, and it uses it's 125 pitch, so that's what I've got here, and I've got a locking nut for it. So what we've got is the original washers still available from Suzuki, and they are 1 millimeter each. So it's going to start with one of those. The O-rings, I think they're available from Suzuki, but I just robbed my my little stash, and those will go like that. The brake pedal goes right beyond here, and let's see, we've got another O-ring that will, oops, our bushing. Here we go. The bushing is like that, and then you'll have another O-ring and another thrust washer, and that's kind of the makeup there. Here's the picture out of the book. The bolt, thrust washer, O-ring, spacer, bushing, O-ring, thrust washer, brake pedal, and locking nut. The like I say, the O-rings and the thrust washers are still available. The nut is, if you want to get the proper one, but the bolt and everything else is not. And I was having trouble finding it online. The bushing, like I said in a previous video, they want like $75, $80 for that. That's insane. The spring is not available, but I think I found a solution. The 400 came with this one on it. Whether it's the right one, I don't know. 125 had this one on it, and again, is it the right one? Don't know. But this is what I came up with, and this fits on there good. These eyelets fit, and what I generally do with springs, you know, I don't know whether this is the right one, but it seemed like it to give it a pretty good pedal feel. If you'll take the diameter of the wire that the spring is made from, just measure that. That one's 0.063 thousandths. And then go by the eyelet, or the complete length, which is about 2.5 inches. And that's what I ordered. I ordered one with, let's see what I end up with here. It looks like 0.056 for my wire diameter. So it's a little bit less than that one. And just a little over 2.5 inches. It was actually, I think they measure it from the inside of the eyelets. Yeah, right there. So if you measure it from the inside of the top of the eyelets. This one, anyway, it was 56 by 2.5. And I just picked these up at Granger. This is the number 1NBL8. And you get 3 of them for $10. So I've got 3 frames running around here, so I've got plenty. Okay, so we measured things out. We think we're at 0.063 for our OD. The length is 0.115, 0.551 for the ID, which happens to be 14 millimeter. And I'm going to use that because I have a 14 millimeter reamer, so I can make that make it precise. And for the spacer, I've got we're going to give it a thousandths clearance between the bushing and the spacer, so we're at 0.115 for the OD, which is just a little under the 14 millimeter. 0.130 for length. That gives you enough room to get your O-rings on there. And then 0.397 for the ID, which is 10 millimeter. And again, we're going to go with that because I've got a 10 millimeter reamer. So we can make those dimensions pretty precise. Okay, as far as what we're going to make the bushing out of, I've got some bronze. This is it's oil impregnated material. You just buy this from Metal Supply. And this particular one is, let's see here, 0.785 OD. So we don't have very far to go here. What, 113 thousandths, something like that. And for the spacer, I'm going to use a piece of 1045 that I have here. And we've got quite a ways to go on that one, but this machine's pretty good, so that's what I'm going to use on that one. Okay guys, I'm going to clean the bores out for the bushing. It's pretty rusty in there, and I think I'm just going to take a wheel cylinder hone, a little WD in there, and just make sure I've got the rust out. This is on the 400. I've got it laying on the floor here. I can do the other one up on the bench. We'll just get a measurement from that and kind of split the difference. It's pretty rusty in there, so I just wanted to make sure I got a good measurement. I think I may need to go a little bit more. And also it'll help help the other one driving and the new one. Yeah. Get at it just a little bit more. I'm going to tighten it up a little, get a little more pressure on the stones. Wished I had a little ball hone for this, but I don't. Oh yeah, that looks better, I think. At least it isn't rust we're driving into. Okay, let's see what kind of measurement we get. Let's take another one just to make sure. It's like 73. So 673 on this one, 0.673. Thanks guys, don't forget the thumbs up. Okay, we'll go ahead and do the same thing to the 125 frame up here, just so we know we've got the same measurements if possible. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. See what we got on this one. Okay, looks like we're pretty close, within 3 10,000ths. So I think we can go with that, 0.673. Okay, moving over to the frame, here's our pedal, bushings installed. The bolt's going to go through the pedal like such, and then we're going to have a thrust washer and an O-ring. And that just needs to go around, or yeah, onto the spacer. And then the spacer is just going to go through. And when we get out here, you get another O-ring and your thrust washer, and then your nut. So that pretty well shows It's a little short here. Let me get a wrench and see how much I can pull up. Okay, back that up there, 17 millimeter. Yeah, it's a little short, but you got a good feel on your, it's just the way it should be. It's loose enough that it moves within the bushing. They do have the proper nut for that, and I've got one. Let me see. Okay, this is the one that they sell you for there, and it's really just about as thick, maybe even a little thicker, but the locking feature may come in earlier, I'm not sure. If a fella could get the thin nylock, I can't seem to find them. I'm not even sure that they make them. I've looked pretty hard, and usually what I come up with is just on the 150 pitch. And I've actually got that. I've got some bolts, and I'm not sure whether I got the nut or not, but I did pick up some bolts that were 55 millimeters long. So that gives you a little stick out here. Anyhow, let's go ahead and make the bushing and the spacer, and then we'll do some variations on bolts and nuts and see what we come up with the final assembly. All right, let's get started with this. We'll trim off the end here. go to size with the reamer. This is our 14 millimeter. Okay, let's get our length in here of 1.5, 1.15. It's good. Seven three. That bronze likes to catch you and pull you in, so you got to be careful with it. There we go. There's our bushing. Let me clean up the other end here. All right, let's get ready to do our spacer. We've got 114 OD, 130 length, and 0.397 ID. And get our length here. And I've got my, I'm just going to follow the other hole that I made on the other one. So I don't need to do my starter bit or anything like that. What I do want to do is mark my length. Okay. Good. All right, so let's continue on with our bore here. Okay, let's run a reamer through it. Okay. Boy, I had that all messed up. Good thing I checked it. Okay. Really just had the OD messed up, so I caught that. So let's proceed on now, and we'll start cutting down the OD. Okay, we've got about 557. So we got about 7 thousandths to take off. Our target's 550, 0.550. So I'll dial in about 6 right there. And we'll see how close we are at that point. Okay, well, looks like I'm 551, so I'll take another thousandths off, and then we'll see where we're at. All right, nice. Good and tight. Thanks, guys. Don't forget the thumbs up. Just a little over. I think we can live with that. Okay, I'm back over at the RM400 frame, and I'm gonna go ahead and put it in that one, because this one, well, it belongs there. That's all I can say. Hang on just a minute. Okay, wanted to get some acetone so we can clean this up. Get the grease out of it. And here's the bushing we just made. Get all the oil off it. Okay, I think that's going to be just about right. And put a little Loctite on it. This is for slip fit, this 680 slip fit, because it's not, I think it's a little bit of a press fit, but it's not much. Okay, we're going to go in just a little bit. I'm going to use aluminum driver. We want those O-rings to go just barely in. Okay, I think that's good. Okay, I'm going to use the longer bolt with the coarse threads. We'll just see what that looks like. So we get our thrust washer and our O-ring and our spacer. And I'll just give that O-ring a little lube and the spacer a little lube. Let's see, I think that's, oops, oh boy. That wasn't too smart. Let me clean this up. All right, let's try this again. I had the brake pedal upside down. That was part of my problem. Okay. A little, you see that little groove there that the O-ring goes into. Hopefully it's got a little compression. Okay, we get that in, and then our lock nut. And we'll see how much stick out we have now. Probably a little too much. Okay, yeah, it actually is a little. You know, you can probably move that. You know, it shows it coming in this way, but I just wonder. Just kind of wonder if it couldn't go the other way. I don't think there's anything that it is going to hit. Okay, I'm going to leave it there until I pull it back apart to sandblast the frame. But that's looking pretty good. I put the spring on. So I think it's probably okay. It's a heck of a lot better than it was. I think this needs to be adjusted with the foot peg on it. Otherwise it's maybe a little low. Yeah. Okay, it works. It's good and snug. It's probably never had grease put on it before, would be my guess. Okay, guys. Should work. Okay, guys, there you have it. Another machining video. I hope everybody enjoyed that. It's, you know, a lot of people like the machining stuff. A lot of people like the motorcycle maintenance stuff. If you really look at it, all of this it's all together. I like to show the machining part of the motorcycle builds. A lot of people never see that. For instance, when they take their cylinder in to get it machined for a new piston, you know, you drop it off at the counter. A week or so later, you come back, you pick it up, you pay the guy, and you go home and put it together. You're not seeing what goes on at the machine shop or whatever. And that's what I kind of want to do. You know, anything that is applicable to the bikes that I can do as far as machine work, I like to show that because, you know, it's just a part that a lot of folks just don't see. Maybe they don't care, I don't know. But I think the majority of people are kind of inquisitive and just want to know what happens when they drop that cylinder off, or what happens when they want $75 for a bushing and you're not going to pay it. So you go turn it out on the lathe. I don't know, it probably, for both pieces, the whole thing, probably took about an hour and probably an hour and a half. And that's with the videoing also. And that kind of drags things down when you're having to drag that camera around all the time. But I think people are enjoying it, and as long as they do, I'm going to keep doing it. So thanks for going along on the ride. See you next video.